Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that you're looking at running for president.
Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it. I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red cake.
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
Donald Trump will not become president.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president.
Moderator, but apparently believes that Donald Trump is a clown.
President Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
You're never going to be president of the United States by insulting your way to
Let's see, I'm at 42 and you're at...
We have a key race alert right now. Donald Trump now has reached the number of delegates needed to clinch the Republican presidential nomination.
So, right now, Mr. Trump, to answer your call for political honesty, I just want to say, you're not going to be president, all right? It's been fun. It's been great. I love you. But come on, buddy.
Donald Trump, while we project, will win in Kentucky with its 8th electoral vote, in Indiana with its 11th electoral vote, West Virginia, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas with its 6 electoral votes, Nebraska with its 5 electoral votes, and Wyoming with its 3 electoral votes, North Dakota with its 3 electoral votes, and South Dakota, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri, Ohio, Idaho, North Carolina.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
Together, we will make America great again.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of CobraCast 199. I am your host, D-Day Cobra, the second CobraCast today because we had an emergency CobraCast this morning for good reason, watching the Supreme Court come to their 9-0 decision, and the meltdown has been glorious, to say the least. Oh my goodness. And this is just kind of a tease into what we're going to see later this year in November. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so nice. I can't wait. It's going to be so fun. But not as fun as talking to all of you. Well, maybe it might actually be that fun, but it will be glorious. But first, I got to say, what's up to Brock, who dropped 20 gifted memberships before the stream even started. 20 gifted memberships. Holy crap. Shout out to you, you mad lad, Brock, dropping that F5 in the chat. Doug B in the house with 5 gifted memberships. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier with a gifted membership. Waylon Jennings in the house with a 10 says, this chat room is full of good folks. Well, thank you, Mr. Jennings. Good to see you here. We appreciate you. We appreciate you and your time. And yeah, oh my goodness, Keith Olbermann. I really like, it's so weird because I did watch Keith Olbermann back in the day. I watched him when he was at ESPN, and you never know how crazy these people will turn out to be. You just don't know. It's so weird, man. If you would have taken me back like all this time watching Keith Olbermann on ESPN, watching Mark Hamill in Star Wars, just watching all of these actors and these media personalities, and then just seeing how deranged they are. It really is something to behold. It really is. Like, I can't process how insane some of these freaks are, man. Let's see. Let's see. Lydic says, here's for your difficult career and your future engagement ring. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Streaming is very hard. This is a very... Hey, what's up? Yes.
And video is out of sync.
My audio and video is out of sync? Really?
Yeah.
On YouTube?
YouTube.
Is anyone else noticing my audio is out of sync? Really? So my
it's
audio...
on Kick and Rumble happening too.
So what about... But not YouTube? But okay, so it's on all three.
YouTube
on all
also, everything's out of sync. Yeah.
I don't know why. Did I have some stupid update? Is it really bad? Like, is it really off?
It's distracting, yeah.
Fuck. Well, I hope we don't have to start this. A lot of people are saying, I don't know how I can fix it while the stream is going. That's weird. So today, I wonder if this morning, I don't think I had a delay this morning. And that's
this morning was fine.
That does not, I don't understand that. Let's see if it works itself out. I don't think there's anything I can do in my settings while the stream's going. Hailstorm, if you want to look into that and see, but I do not think that I can fix it, but we'll look into that. Thank you for the heads up. All right, so we have Sumo R says Keith Olbermann is a fig. Whoopi Goldberg is I don't even you're a high. What are you saying? I don't know. And people who don't honor Laken Riley should go with the illegals. Trump winning MAGA 2024. Absolutely. Joe Biden's not going to mention her. That's for sure. Samuel G says, "Hail, victory is ours in the battle. For this battle, there will be more to come. Let's keep at it, our great Cobra Commander. Let's freaking go." All right, don't worry, Jeremy. You're always a little delayed. Really? Is it really that bad? Does it look good now? People are saying... all right, I'm going to do a poll in the chat and see if people say that they should think... if they think I should restart. Let's see. We'll do a poll right now, and we will see what you guys say. Restart. Start a poll. Restart. We'll let that run for a minute. Let's see. Restart, yes or no. The chat rules around here in these parts, so we'll see what you guys have to say. Yes, Keith Olbermann has completely lost his mind. Keith Olbermann is losing it. Oh, we got Doug Beast is jumping from pirates straight to politics. Ahoy, Snake Pit, for the social battery. Thank you. The social battery is running a little low. The stream is delayed, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. You're always a bit off. I'm playing a game with you in the background. I don't know if that's a compliment or if that's a shot at me or if you're genuinely giving me feedback. I never really know. Life on Marshmallow says the video and audio are perfect. Well, right now, 56% says to not start it. And a lot of people are saying it's good now. Maybe it'll work itself out. Katrina VR, welcome to the Snake Pit. Thank you so much. Let's see. Drives me crazy. Let's fix it. I can't look at you, says Microchip. Damn, that was all caps, too. Your lips are sinking, says John. Refresh. It fixed itself out. You're good. No problem here. Slight delay. Maybe just... it is sinking, Adam Rice is saying. Okay. Looks like I think we're going to be fine. I believe in the power of technology. I think we're going to be fine. I think it's going to work itself out. Maybe if everybody hits refresh, and you guys can let me know if that works. But hey, listen. At least you know we listen to the people around here. That's the most important thing about the Snake Pit, CobraCast 199. We listen to the people, and the people is all that matters around these parts. I wonder if it's the scene that I'm in. Let's see if I go to the chat scene. I wonder if that's better. It could be the scene. So change the scene, see what happens. And right now, I was just informed that Donald Trump is actually live right now with Right Side Broadcasting. I wasn't even aware this was going on, but apparently he is live. Let's see. I think the delay is slowly getting better. Same delay. Really? Worse? Still the same. Worse. It's not the same. Damn. All right. Same delay, says Hailstorm. Damn, it's so aggravating. Fucking technology. I don't know why it has to be so fucking difficult sometime. Let's look at this Donald Trump interview and see if it works itself out. And if not, we will restart, okay? But we do have this right here. Donald Trump, now I backed it up to the beginning. And apparently this is Super Tuesday with President Donald Trump. So we're going to hear what President Trump has to say about Super Tuesday. Now, of course, Super Tuesday is tomorrow. It's going to be a big, big day. And I'm curious to see how that goes. You know what, though? There's one thing I can try. All right? There's one thing I can try. All right? Let me go to BRB really quick, okay? I wonder if it's my camera. So I'm going to go to Be Right Back. All right? And I'm going to switch my camera to the lower quality camera. And let's see if that fixes it, okay? Stand by. Okay, it won't let me switch to that camera because stupid-ass OBS has already drawn from that damn camera. So whatever, we can put a fucking man on the moon, but I can't get my camera to open up on 2 different programs. So it is what it is. Let's listen to President Trump, and let's see if this audio situation fixes itself.
Pretty good. Very nice. As we get ready to kick off Super Tuesday tomorrow, it's my honor for the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, joining us for the next 45 minutes or so to talk about Super Tuesday.
Well, it's going to be great. It's tomorrow. It's 15 states, and I hear North Dakota's coming out tonight, and I think we're going to do very well there. The governor's fantastic, and 2 good senators, and they're going to be announcing those results in about an hour, so we might not make it for this show, but I think they'll be good. And we've set records, as you know, with almost every state, just about every state we've been in. We started with Iowa, and we went to New Hampshire, and we were just knocking them dead. New Hampshire, we had the most votes in history. Iowa, we had the biggest margin in history times 2. And Nevada was record, all records. I mean, it's been something's really fantastic happening out there, Brian. And we're very happy to be a part of it, all of us together. We're happy to be a part of it. The country wants help. They're screaming for help. I really believe it, with millions and millions of people coming in illegally, and they're coming from places unknown, and they're rough people, in many cases from jails, prisons, from mental institutions, insane asylums. You know, insane asylum, that's Silence of the Lambs stuff. Hannibal Lecter. Anybody know Hannibal Lecter? We don't want him in this country. And terrorists are coming in at numbers that we haven't seen in many, many decades. It's crazy what they're doing. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. And we're going to turn it around. We're going to stop it. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get our prices down. And we're going to close up the border, and we're going to have a big deportation, and we're going to get bad people out of here because we can't have it. We just can't have it. No, this is not sustainable by any country ever, at any time. There's never been anything like it. 3 years ago, we had the safest border, the best border in the history of our country by far. Like, there was never anything like it. When I ran in 2016, it was very much about the border, but that border was like a baby compared to this border. This border is a disaster. But I fixed the problem, and fixed it so well I couldn't even talk about it in the 2020 election. And yet we got millions of more votes. We actually did much better. I hate to tell you, we did much better the second time than we did the first time. And we don't have to get into what happened, but we all know what happened. It was a rigged deal, a terrible thing, terrible, terrible thing. And now you look at from inflation to Ukraine and Russia, which would never have happened, to Israel being attacked. None of these things would have happened. It was inflation was caused by energy and by stupidity. You have Afghanistan. I think it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, the way we left. Not that we were leaving. I was leaving, but we were going to get out with dignity and strength. We were going to have the equipment. We were going to keep it. We gave them 85.
I will continue to say that the country is going to be in better shape after Trump leaves office in 2028 than it would have if he would have stayed in office in 2020 and then left office at the end of 2024. I think the country will be in better shape the way that this is all playing out. I firmly, firmly believe that.
$1 billion worth of equipment. You see what happened. They killed 13 of our people, and 38, nobody ever mentions this, but 38 have been hurt so badly, you know, with the arms and the legs and just obliteration. It's so sad to see what's happened to our country. So we're going to turn it around, and we're going to do it faster than anybody can imagine. And we're going to make America great again.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We've got 854 delegates are up for tomorrow. So if you were to,
and by the way, like, and the thing is this is what sucks about it, is that we've had to lose so much in order to get to that place, and that's the reality of having the evil, horrible forces that Donald Trump is working against right now, is that there's so much unnecessary terror and disaster that we're going to have to go through to get to that point. But it's the reality of when you have to face evil, this is what's going on. And only Trump, he's the only guy that could withstand all of this.
To clinch this early, this would have been on pace for what it was in 2020 when you didn't have anybody running against you, and you didn't have all these lawsuits against you.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about a party if we've come together to get you this nomination by March 17th?
It's been pretty amazing, actually, and it's a lot of love. There's more love now, and I think a big part of it is when I ran the last time, we had a good record. We had the best economy ever. We had all these fantastic things that had happened. We had the safest border ever. We had low energy prices. Everything was going right. We were rebuilding our military, which I completed. We finished. We did everything right. It was amazing. And now we have something to compare what we're doing against. We didn't really last time because we were doing well. I said the border was in great shape. I couldn't even talk about the border. They'd say, sir, don't talk about the border. You fixed it. And nobody wants to hear it. You know, that's the sad part. When you do something well, nobody wants to talk about it. So I didn't talk about the border. But now we look back and we see that we had a great border. We look back and we see we had a great economy. We had no inflation, essentially no inflation. Everything was good, and we did such a good job. We had the greatest economy in the history of our country, probably in the history of the world. And now we have a horrible economy where inflation has hurt us probably close to 50% when you add it all up. I was told a little while ago, bacon went up 4 times in the last 3 years. I mean, 4 times what it was. And other food products are through the roof. And they stay there. You know, they're not going down. They may bring inflation down to 4%, 5%, what it is now. But they're not bringing down the damage that's been caused. And you know, you take that, even if you get increases in salaries or whatever you may be doing, whether it's salaries or anything else, it's more than compensated for by the inflation, which is just ripping people apart.
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Fuck me. All right, there we go. Anyway, superstar streamer here, everybody. All right, so Villa Idiots for $4.99 says, I asked you this about a year ago, but I'm curious how it's changed. What would you say is Trump's biggest hurdle going forward? I'd be curious how I answered that a year ago, but I would say right now at this point in time, I think that there's only one answer. And Trump's biggest hurdle now is mail-in balloting. That's it. Mail-in balloting. And that's the only reason he's not in office right now, mail-in balloting. So how they're going to handle all of that, I think that's his biggest hurdle, and I don't think it's even close. So 1,000% mail-in balloting and how that's going to play into November.
So the economy is terrible, and they say, and some real geniuses, I will tell you, some of the smartest people on Wall Street say, the only thing good is the stock market, and that's good because everybody thinks I'm going to be elected.
You're right. You're right. You're right on that.
It's been very interesting. It's an interesting time.
Well, we've talked, and yet you have the Biden administration trying to convince Americans that life is good, President Trump, that everything's affordable, but they know Bidenomics has destroyed it.
It's been a disaster. It's a bad term. They thought it was a bad term when it came out, and then Biden liked it. He thought it was a nice name, and he started using it, and he was getting killed because it was really meant as a negative, not as a positive. And we have Maganomics, right? Maganomics. And that is a good term. And, it's so interesting. It's got to be one of the great names because you look through branding, whatever you want to call it, but you look throughout history. I don't think there's ever been anything like this. There has never been a movement like this, possibly in any country, but there's never been a movement like this in our country. And the spirit, the love.
Just curious, chat, how many of you are checking out the blonde in the back? I'm just curious how many of you are checking out the scenery. Just a show of hands in the chat. Just curious.
And the positiveness. And remember, when they hit us and they say, we're going to stop this MAGA stuff, MAGA, that's Joe Biden. And I say, Joe, what is it? Define it. And he's unable to define it. I guarantee if you ask him what does MAGA mean, he wouldn't know. It's Make America Great Again, right? So it's been a pretty amazing time. Really pretty amazing time.
Let's talk about the polls. Now, the polling is huge right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of polls out that you're just absolutely destroying it, and you're set to break every records right now so far. Virtually every player in the Republican Party has endorsed you at this point, which is huge. Now, why do you think you have such political strength right now?
Because I think we did a great job, and people are longing for that period of time that we had just a little while ago. Wasn't long, and the beauty is I heard just coming up, I was hearing a telecast, and they said 8 months. I said, I've been using 9 and 10. Mm-hmm. We're so close now. We're actually getting close. The one thing I will say is, and I say it in speeches, that if you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of our country and you added them up, they have not done the damage that Joe Biden's done in his presidency. It's a disaster. He's been a disaster. He's the worst president in history. He's the most corrupt president in history, most incompetent president in history. I don't know if he's going to make it to the starting gate, but if he does, he does. And if it's somebody else, it's somebody else. But there's never been anything like this. There's never been anything happening to our country. What they're doing is they're poisoning our country by allowing people to come in by the millions. I believe we have 15 million people now, and I think it could be close to 20 million by the time this...
I'm curious if this was like... Hailstorm told me that this was live today. I'm curious if it is, because I want to hear him talk about Supreme Court if this was live today. But Hailstorm, you said this is live today, I think. Because I'd like to hear him add some more thoughts to that. Because this was going on when I went live. So we'll see if he talks about that at all. I know he had a statement that he released earlier.
This whole horrible nightmare ends, and we're going to have to just solve that problem.
We talked about this earlier about enthusiasm, and I often say that I think there's more enthusiasm this time around than it was in 2020. Now, President Trump, when you walk out to these rallies and you saw it in Greensboro, then you saw it in Roanoke just a couple of days ago. Do you sense more enthusiasm from MAGA and the crowds and just the support that you get? Is it greater this time around?
When you looked at North Carolina and Virginia this weekend, I tell you what, I've never been, and we've had rallies that are massive rallies. I've never seen love and excitement. Even this crowd, I just walked in, and I don't know if you caught it on air, but this crowd is a very nice crowd. This is a very
it's our people.
Man knows how to work a room.
Thank you very much. But it's very interesting because the New York Times did a poll that just blew them up. It just came out, and they announced it, and we're way up, leading big against Biden. And one of the questions they ask is enthusiasm. How enthusiastic are you for Biden, meaning Democrats or whoever? And the numbers are record low. There's very little enthusiasm. And very enthusiastic. That's a term. Very rarely do you have people very enthusiastic. We're up around 50%. And I said, boy, that's a phenomenal number, to be very enthusiastic about somebody. And then I'll listen to the fake news. They'll say, while both candidates aren't popular, I'm popular. I mean, they like me. They like me in the Republican Party. I like them. But, you know, the fake news they get out there, they like to play it. I don't think he is popular, and he shouldn't be popular because of what he's done to the country. But we have a great love in our party. We have a great popularity. We had polls where I'm at 94, 95% approval rating in the Republican Party. And I beat Ronald Reagan, who's at 86%. I mean, we're very popular in this party. This party is, and whether you call it MAGA or Common Sense or Trump or whatever it is, this party is very unified, surprisingly unified. It's pretty amazing, and that's why we're doing well. And to go to your original part of your question, I have never seen enthusiasm like this, including, so we ran in 2016 and we did great, and we won. We ran in 2020, we did much better by almost 12 million votes. 12 million votes, that doesn't happen. Usually if somebody runs a second time, they get less. And they can win or lose, but they get less because, you know, people get bored and they get tired and they said, let's give somebody else. But normally get less, or they get a little bit more. President Obama got a lot less and he won, a lot less. But rarely do you see it where you get massively more. And we have massively, millions and millions and millions more votes than we had. So, you know, than we had in 2016. Now, we were at 63 million. That was a lot in 2016. I was told that if you get the same by John McLaughlin, by Fabrizio, if you get the same number, 63 million, you can't lose. It's impossible to lose. We got millions more votes than that, and we lost just by a whisker, you know, just by a whisker. Now, it was a rigged election, and it's a disgrace, and we're not going to let it happen again.
Well, one of the...
Dave Chandler for 50 says Supreme Court rules 9-0 in Trump's favor. If the left had some sense, they'd pause and consider that they're so crazy. They've lost Kagan, Sotomayor, and Brown Jackson. Even they were unwilling to say that a candidate can be thrown off a ballot. Yeah, I think that shocked a lot of people. Especially, like, again, I think that there was some speculation that it could be 6-3, it could be 7-2, you know, it could be, you know, and then, like, thinking, like, Sotomayor would be, like, the one, you know, because she's crazy. But, no, man, like, 9-0. 9-0. It was as clear as day. They made a statement the day before Super Tuesday, which, again, I will be live covering Super Tuesday tomorrow. No worries on that. We're going to be here. We're going to be live covering it. But, yeah, man, I mean, it is crazy that 9-0. Nobody has any right to argue it. Of course, Keith Olbermann is, and we're going to talk about Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann's a weird dude, man. We'll listen to Keith a little bit later. We'll read his tweets and talk about that.
One of the biggest issues that they're polling is our border and how it's so wide open and all the drugs. So you were just in Texas a couple days ago. We were down there covering that trip. That is polling number one across the country. And I go to every single rally and I talk to hundreds, if not thousands, of your supporters, and they tell me, and when I ask them, what is the number one issue with you? And they say, I want President Trump on day one to close the border.
Yep. It's number one, and it's usually not number one. Even in 2016, it was 2 or 3, but it wasn't number one. It's just not like normally a number one issue, because people would think you have at least a semblance of a border. We have nothing. You know, we built 571 miles of wall, which was a great achievement, much more than I said. Then I ordered an extra 200 because as you fill it up, they start walking a little bit longer distances and go around. So we ordered 200 more. We had it. It was delivered. And Biden, we then had the crazy election, and Biden wouldn't put it up. They wouldn't. And I said, whoa, what's going on? They wouldn't put it up. And I said, for the first time, I actually said, I really think they want open borders. I couldn't believe it. Because who would want open borders? You know, where people are coming from parts unknown, countries that you've never heard of, languages that nobody in this country speaks. You know, we don't even have teachers of some of these languages. Who would think that? We have languages that are like from the planet Mars. Nobody knows how to, you know, speak it. And then these students, and I'm not blaming them, I'm saying they put the students in the place of our students, like in New York City. We have these wonderful students, they're going to school, all of a sudden they no longer have a seat, they're no longer invited to the school. We're putting migrants in who don't speak the language, they have no idea what the teacher's saying, and we have children that are no longer going to school. They're throwing them out of the park, there's no more little leagues, there's no more sports, there's no more life in New York and so many of these cities. When you have 500,000 people just come down and invade your city, it is a very, very bad thing. And then many of these people are very dangerous people. When I see cops fist fighting, you know, I've seen cops over there, they get hit and they get shot and they get everything, and it's horrible. But I've never seen fist fights. Think of it, a fist fight, where guys are fist fighting with cops in the street, and that's not as bad as being shot. You know what, in a certain way, it's really incredible because the nerve of these people. And if this happened in their country, they would be gone, they would be shot, and they'd be shot and gone within 2 minutes. They wouldn't allow this. But you saw what happened with 10 guys are beating up cops in the middle of the street, kicking them and punching them. These are tough people, and they're not wanted by their country, and we don't want them either. We have to get them out, and we have to get them out fast. It's migrant crime. And it's going to reach a level that nobody has ever thought of or seen before. It's not like this beautiful picture of people coming across the border. These are people from jails and rough places, and they're rough people, and they're not going to work here. We're going to have a level of crime. We have a crime wave already. They're now getting situated. They're starting to feel comfortable, and instead of being this wonderful, idyllic deal, they're fighters, and they're killers, and they're drug dealers, and lots of things. Bad things are happening, and we have to get them out. No country can sustain what we're going through.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's.
Yeah, they're not sending their best. That's a term that President Trump used a long time ago, and you know, the mainstream media and the left, they all cried about it, and he was 100% right then, and he's 100% right now.
Let's talk about the battleground state polling, since the presidency is won state by state. Now, we checked with Real Clear polling averages yesterday, and here's what's going on right now in these key battleground states. Now, let's go with Arizona. You're up 5.5 on that. Nevada, 7 points. Wisconsin, the latest poll from Bloomberg Morning Council, was you're up 4 points there. Michigan up 3.6. North Carolina, 5.6. Georgia up 6.5. These are big numbers. And you know what? You talked about this earlier. The inner city, people that might have been agnostic to voting, they see what the policies under the Biden administration is doing to them.
Yep.
And they're swinging over, and they're now saying, I'm going to vote for Donald J. Trump in this next election because they're tired of what's happening to him. So these polling numbers do not surprise me at all.
So we're getting the highest numbers ever from African American, Hispanic American, Asian American. Women are looking good. You know, I kept hearing about women and suburban women. Suburban women.
Some women here.
Look, you know what women want? They want security. They want safety. They don't want to have people.
Women are looking good. Donald Trump 2024.
pouring into our country. They don't want to have wars where their children are going out to wars. And think of it. You wouldn't have had Ukraine. I would bet that the numbers are going to be double or triple what you're seeing.
I agree.
That is, blow up those buildings and hear that nobody.
I saw Quatrina VR said Hamill hasn't been this mad since his son had a kid. Oh my goodness. Has he tweeted out anything? Has Hamill tweeted anything out? Eric with 10 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go.
But he was injured as this massive, they have big buildings, as massive buildings are tumbling down to the ground, hit by missiles. You don't say 2 people were hurt, 2 people were slightly injured. No, a lot of people were killed. A lot of people in those buildings, and a lot of people were killed. The numbers are going to be much, much greater. And when you look at that, to think that would have never happened. I talked to Putin a lot. I had a very good relationship with him. You know, the press goes crazy when you say that, by the way. Oh, you should. It's a good thing to have a good relationship, not a bad. But he understood. He couldn't do the Ukraine thing, and it was the apple of his eye. He couldn't do it. But when I was out, and I think after he watched the disaster in Afghanistan, I think he said, these people are grossly incompetent. I really think without Afghanistan, maybe he wouldn't have done it. But he looked at that where we take the military out first. We have Americans still living there as hostages, probably. It was handled so badly. We left $85 billion worth of equipment, the best military equipment in the world, because I bought it. You know, I'm the one.
You know about it.
No, I'm the one. I rebuilt the entire military. We had new, beautiful equipment, and they took a big chunk of it. It was one of the worst things. And when Putin and when President Xi of China looks at that and they see it, Kim Jong-un, when they look at it and they see that, they are emboldened, and that's a bad thing.
Well, I think these strong polling numbers just indicate to everyone, plus the media and those naysayers out there and the people that are the Nikki Haley camp trying to encourage her to carry on, this says something, that the American people have faith in you and your policies, no one else, that can turn this country around.
Well, I've watched, a whole group. They started off with probably 15, and I watched it. One would go, another one. Some were very impressive, like North Carolina.
Doug Burgum.
He was great. And North Dakota, great. We have so many great people. I'll tell you, let's go to North Carolina. So South Carolina, North Carolina, you had some people, they fight for me like you've never seen. North Dakota, you have Doug Burgum, the governor. Mm-hmm. He is so fantastic. He is so fantastic. And I'm looking forward to getting that vote. I want to see what it is. But, we have numbers that if the projections are right, we're going to win by a lot. I just say to the people that are watching now, if you could, go out and vote, because it's not Haley, she's not a problem. I think she's very negative for the party, but she's not a problem in terms of winning, because we're winning by a lot. The only place we expected to lose was D.C., because that's the swamp.
It's a badge of honor to lose that, actually.
We didn't do anything there. We sort of said, leave that alone. That'll be a good, it's a very interesting place. If I won it, I would have said that could be a problem, because, a lot of people would say, what's this all about? But we've won everything in record numbers, and tomorrow we could very well win every state in record numbers. That's what we're hoping for. But it's so, thank you. It's so important, because we have to send a signal. November 5th is going to be, I think, the most important day in the history of our country, because that's the election. And we're going to take our country back from these fascists and communists and the people that are running our country. And I'm not even sure that it is Biden. I think it's other people. It's not Biden, because he goes to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they have the best of all worlds, because they have a guy that probably isn't too active, but he's very active when it comes, though, to weaponization and trying to hurt a political opponent through using the FBI and the DOJ and all. And the people haven't stood for it. It's an amazing thing. Who would have thought this would have happened? It's never happened before. First of all, that's never happened before in this country. But it's never happened before when somebody would have that happen and your numbers would go up. Every time I get indicted, my numbers go higher and higher and higher, because the people understand it.
They understand that.
They really understand it.
Let's talk about a national polling. Yesterday, Forbes had to write breaking news headline that said,
Wes Mass for 50 says SCOTUS win for Trump is a win for MAGA. The most unexpected dub, however, is legendary Halo composer Martin O'Donnell running for Congress in Nevada as a Republican. Wasn't on my bingo card this year. Absolutely legendary composer, Halo composer. And yeah, that was a big discussion that I saw going around on Twitter. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Said, quote, Trump opens largest ever lead in New York in the Times polling. So you're polling huge in that. And of course, you're beating Biden 48-43. We talked about this earlier. It's much higher than that. This is almost greater numbers than you had in 2015. Despite the lawsuits, despite how the news is constantly attacking you, you still lead in these polls.
The people get it. The people are very smart. The people get it. I've seen it. And the nice thing is I have a voice, whether it's through you or through others. I have a voice, and I'm able to explain it to people. It's weaponization, and it's very common in third world countries and banana republics. It's a very common thing, but we never had it in this country where they come out and on nothing, on nonsense. Look at Fani, Fani is F-A-N-I. She indicted me. She wanted to indict U.S. senators for doing nothing. Indicted me for doing nothing. And it was her and a boyfriend, and he got almost $1 million. He had no experience, no nothing. Knew him a long time ago. Then she said something to the effect, I don't know much about the gentleman. They had 2,000 phone calls. I said, I'm not sure I ever called the First Lady 2,000 times, and I've been with her for a long time, I think. And they have thousands of text messages, right? But she's not sure whether or not she knows him. The whole thing is a con job. You look at what's going on in Manhattan, where Hillary Clinton, think of it, Hillary Clinton's lawyer with a big law firm leaves the firm to go into the DA's office to prosecute me. Then he leaves the DA's office and he writes a book. He writes a book. Before anything was done, he's writing a book. I mean, how illegal is that? Or take deranged Jack Smith. He's a deranged person. And look at his record. He's been overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously. These people are bad people. They were set out to do a number on me, to damage me, so that Biden could beat me, because that's the only way he can beat anybody, because he's damaged. I mean, he's really damaged goods. And you know what he should do? They're all his prosecutors. They work for him, like Fani and her lover went to Washington and spent at least 2 days that they know of, 8-hour days in the White House counsel's office or the DOJ. So they were working on this a long time in conjunction with Joe Biden's White House. The DA's office has one of the top people from the Justice Department, that's Washington, in other words, Merrick Garland's people, put their top person in the DA's office to handle this case. And it's a nonsense case. Every legal opinion I've read said it's not even a crime. It's not a crime. It's not this. It's not that. It should never be brought. Should have never been. None of these things should have been brought. But it's all of these indictments are Biden indictments. And they're there to hurt an opponent. If I weren't running, none of this stuff would have ever happened. Or if I was doing badly, I would say it probably wouldn't happen. But all of this was done to inflict harm on his political opponent. And we've never had that in this country. It's something that's quite well known, but it's in other countries, not in this country. This is a big example. And honestly, what he should do is take all of those prosecutors off the cases and fight a really fair fight. We're going to win anyway, one way or the other. We're going to win anyway. But they should fight it fair, because it's so bad for the country. And people know what's happening. They see it. If they didn't see it, I'd be down at nothing. I'd be absolutely nothing. They get it, and they see weaponization. It's an attack on a political opponent. Using the FBI and the DOJ, they raided Mar-a-Lago. That's against Fourth Amendment. I mean, they raided my house. Nobody's ever seen anything like that before. We are in a very dangerous time in our country. The only thing I can say is that we had it going so good in the 4 years that I was there that people were calling on the left, very strong, I would say the radical left, and they wanted to get together because African Americans, Hispanic Americans, everybody was doing better than they've ever done before. And all of a sudden, everything was coming together. Mm-hmm. And tremendous things happened, tremendous things and tremendous success. And now when you look at what's going on, like the border, when I say I took over in 2016 and the border wasn't good, Brian, it wasn't good, but it was like normal, not good. It was, not a good situation, but it was. Now it's probably 100 times worse. Nobody's ever seen anything like this, where people are coming up by the millions.
And you can't understate that. Like, you can't understate how bad the border situation is. I mean, you really can't. And if you're trying to underplay it, if you're someone that doesn't like Trump, or you're somebody that is going to, for whatever reason, vote for Joe Biden, and you're trying to minimize the problem at the border, you're a fucking retard. There's just no excuse for what we're seeing right now at the border, and it's downright scary. And this is specific. This is all part of their plan to do this, and essentially all that is more Democratic voters.
They have a caravan that's coming up now with 25,000 people in it. And these dictators and presidents and others, They put their rough people in there. They don't want them in their jails. They empty out their jails. They empty out their institutions. Because you know the money they save by not having it? They had jails that were bursting at the seams, and now their jails are the emptiest they've been in 35 years, but they're going to get a lot emptier because they're dumping them into the United States. And these are very dangerous people, and we have to stop it, and we have to get the bad ones out immediately, and everybody has to go home because no country can sustain it. Our country can't sustain it, and our country's going to hell. We've been living in hell, and we're going to change it, and we're going to change it fast.
I want to talk. He's right. I want to talk about you potentially winning the popular vote, but real quickly, you talk about these all these legal cases. When you go into the courtroom and you see all the supporters outside the courthouse, how does that make you feel? Because you're going into a court of law, you know you're being persecuted for crimes you didn't commit. These are all false allegations, but yet you still have supporters outside with Trump flags and great people like we have here tonight. How does that make you feel?
Well, not only outside, inside. I'm in the courthouse, and I'm walking past the police and the security people and all. 2024, sir, 2024. They go 2020. We're with you, sir. This is inside. This is inside. But we have some real Trump haters. We have some judges that are real Trump haters at a level that you wouldn't even believe.
Sure.
We have prosecutors that are Trump haters. Again, at a level you wouldn't believe the hatred. You wonder, how could they possibly have this kind of hate? I don't know them. And we've done a good job. I was a very popular president. I mean, I got the most votes of any sitting president in United States history. I mean, I was a popular president. We did a good job. Biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in the history of our country. All of the things we did, safest borders. We had numbers that were incredible, even from a medical standpoint, right to try. I have so many people that are living right now because for 50 years they were trying to get, we have space-age materials, some great medicines. We have labs and doctors that are incredible. And they're way ahead, but they won't be.
One thing that is interesting, and I wasn't sure if Trump was going to be able to stop, but credit to him, he has stopped talking about COVID. I don't remember the last time I heard him talk about it unless he was asked about it directly. So he's at least stopped talking about COVID and Operation Warp Speed because that was not good for him to talk about. And he finally recognized it after saying it way too many times. And it's good that he has stopped saying that because, man, I was like, are you ever going to shut up about COVID? Because it is not a good play for you at all. And he luckily recognized that.
Be approved for 4 or 5 years by the FDA. And I said, well, why aren't we giving a person that's terminally ill, why aren't we giving them some of this medicine? Maybe it'll work. And it was a very hard thing, actually. It sounds easy, but it wasn't, because the insurance companies didn't want it for obvious reasons. The medical companies and labs didn't want it because if it doesn't work, and people are terminally ill. And I worked a deal where you don't have to put it down here. You can put it down on a separate list. In other words, so it won't look bad on your so-called report card. And I got the insurance companies on board. You sign a document.
I saw someone say, yet he still hasn't admitted to making a terrible decision. That is spoken by someone that has no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Do you realize if Donald Trump comes on national TV tomorrow? Now, again, I know how Donald Trump is. I know he has a huge ego. I don't consider that a bad thing. I consider that a very positive thing. But hypothetically, if Donald Trump comes on national TV tomorrow and it says that he made a mistake with COVID and Operation Warp Speed, do you know what the media is going to do to him? Do you know what they're going to do and weaponize that comment? I don't care if you're mad about COVID. Shut the fuck up. We got bigger fish to fry right now. And Trump admitting that it was a mistake does nothing positive and only weaponizes the media to use that against him. That's what's going to happen right there. COVID is a disaster for Trump, 1,000%. biggest mistake of his presidency, in my opinion, outside of probably the personnel. He can't come out and say it. The media would then flip it. That immediately, the media would then tell the truth about how bad COVID was and the vax and all that shit. They'll talk about it then when they can weaponize it against Trump. But until then, they won't. So that's why Trump can't say anything about it. And he doesn't need to. He needs to shut the fuck up about COVID, period. End of discussion.
You're not going to ever sue the country. You're not going to sue. And you have access. Instead of going to Asia or going to Europe or going wherever you may go or going home and dying if you have no money. A lot of people can't go to Asia, Europe to seek a cure. And we are saving thousands and thousands of lives. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's talk about winning that popular vote. How would that make you feel to win the popular vote?
Well, look, we have a couple of problems in this country. Number one, mail-in voting. Mail-in voting will always be dishonest, okay? And it's a shame that we have it. Jimmy Carter did a report along with a couple of other senators that were respected, Democrats, Republicans. It's like a commission. And the end result of the report was never go to mail-in voting. It will always be dishonest. That was a long time ago. France fairly recently switched from mail-in voting to one-day paper ballots, voter ID, very simple. One-day voting. I mean, these elections where they take 61 days and then they want an extension. And, you know, they use machines to count it fast, but nobody ever had I mean, they last weeks longer. And then you wonder what's happening and how come that material was moved and it was there and where is it now? Now, we have to have fair elections. We need two things very strongly. We need fair elections and free elections, and we need borders. If a country doesn't have borders, you're not a country. And we really don't have either. But when you have mail-in voting, think of what the process is. They send an envelope to someplace. I mean, so many people complain. They get 7 or 8 votes. Some don't complain. Some just send them back in, right? But they get many votes. They get many ballots. And many of them sign them. They just keep signing them. And who's bringing them there? Who's bringing them back? What happens in the meantime?
I saw someone said the bump stock ban was his biggest mistake. I don't know if I'd say it's definitely a mistake. Was it his biggest mistake? I don't know the specifics of that. I don't know if he was trying to play ball or what. It doesn't matter. I mean, it was still a mistake. But I'm just, you know, I don't know the specifics of it. But in terms of losing his presidency, his biggest mistake was how he handled COVID and who he surrounded himself with. If you want to talk about an actual policy decision, then I could see where the bump stock being the biggest mistake. But in terms of just what he did, it's his personnel and handling of COVID. Those were the two things that cost him, in my opinion.
Are they sold? Because, you know, ballots are sold during this process. People are selling them that are delivering them. So many bad things happen. I think that, you know, I went to California, had this massive crowd. I said, why would I lose California? Automatically, because you're a Republican. Why would I lose California? Look at this crowd. It's as big as we've ever had. Or New York. I think I'd do well in New York if we had everything was on the up and up. And by the way, we're putting a heavy move on New York because New York is not the same place. New York was unhappy 3 years ago, but New York is really unhappy now.
Yeah. Well,
to the New York people in the chat, do you think, like, and again, I don't know. I don't really understand New York. I've been there a few times. I know that like in New York City it's heavily blue, but like, does Trump have a realistic chance at New York? Because from afar, from my perspective here in Florida, I don't see how Trump has a shot in New York, but I don't understand New York. Does he actually have a chance? Because it doesn't seem like he does.
I think we can do Lee Zeldin. Yeah. Lee Zeldin did a good job.
I think you're right.
It's a lot worse now.
Yeah. Well, let's getting back to the latest New York Times poll. Aside from your biggest lead ever in the national popular vote, is Biden is 25 points down from his 2020 numbers with working class minority voters without college degrees. It showed up you winning Hispanic voters 46-40. It also showed you winning 23% of black voters. Now you've gained black voters than you had in 2020. What does that make you feel to really get down in the inner cities and show these demos that your policies will promote them despite what the Democrats would say?
So it makes me feel great. Like, as an example, with black voters, Romney got 4 or 5%. Mitt Romney, okay? I'm not a big fan of his, by the way. He got 4 or 5. But I did a lot of things like criminal justice reform, opportunity zones in cities with Tim Scott, who's fantastic, by the way. And I tell Tim all the time, he ran as a candidate, and he did fine. But as my surrogate, he's unbelievable. I said, you do a much better job fighting for me than you did fighting for yourself. He said, I always had trouble fighting for myself, but I like to fight for people that I think can do a great job. He's great. But we did things that were incredible. Criminal justice reform
He has mentioned Tim Scott a lot. I'm curious, he has mentioned Tim Scott a lot when the question of VP comes up and just in general. He seems to really like Tim Scott. Just keeping that out there.
Couldn't have been done. They came to see me, a group of people, and they were crying. Can I have help? Yeah. They were crying. And I was able to get conservatives to go along with it, and we got criminal justice reform. And I will tell you, the group that most wanted it was the black population, because, it's pretty rough stuff what's been happening if you look at sentencing and sentencing guidelines, et cetera. So I got criminal justice reform. We did so much. Historically, if you look at the colleges, you have colleges and universities, black. They would come to see me, the heads of these colleges, and I got to know some of them. But the first year they came to see, I said, what are you guys doing here? We came to get money from Congress because we can't run our schools if we don't know. Next year, the same group came. They said, yeah, we're here to get money. I said, wait a minute, do you do this every year? And they said, yeah, we do this every year. We have to. And one of them said to me, it was bad. He said, I feel like a beggar because they make us come back every year. This is the Democrats. And I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sit down. You're going to tell me what you need. We're going to do a long-term plan for you. And I got them done with a long-term plan, and I added 20% to the number that they asked for, and they loved me. I said, the only problem I'm going to have is I've gotten to like some of you guys, and I'll never see you again probably. But you know what? I took care of them. And now you have your black colleges and universities are well-funded because of me. They were never going to get it. They were never going to get that.
Yeah. And those are things that the mainstream media won't tell voters. They really hide a lot of the accomplishments you had during your 2016 administration. You did help out the black voters and Hispanic voters. Hispanics were making higher wages than they've ever made.
They had the best 4 years they've ever had. Very entrepreneurial people. Very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
But it's true. They're amazing and very entrepreneurial. In fact, I don't even want to do business deals with these people. They're too good. But they had the best 4 years. A lot of small businesses, and they had the best 4 years they've ever had. So everybody did. Everybody did. Every group.
So you feel like this time you're making some really good inroads?
I do, and the big thing is we have to stop the cheating. I don't need votes. We have all the votes we need. We have to stop the cheating. Because I actually think that...
Damn, he straight up said, I don't need the votes. I mean, I disagree. In terms of, I'm not saying you don't have them. I'm saying that keep people motivated to go out there and vote like their life depends on it. But he's right in what he said. He's right in what he said.
I actually think we would win the popular vote if God came down and was your vote counter, where it would be honest. I think we win the popular vote. But they've cheated for years. Look, who can win with open borders, with high interest rates, you can't buy a home, with woke military? We defeated ISIS. We got rid of the worst terrorists in the world. We did things, and we had no wars. I got into no wars. Everybody said, I remember Hillary Clinton during a debate, she said, look at this man. He's going to cause wars. Look at his attitude. Look at his fresh mouth. I said, no, my fresh mouth is going to keep us out of wars. And that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So we had no wars, but we defeated ISIS. Think of it.
Yeah.
We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks, and it was supposed to take 4 or 5 years. I went to Iraq, and I met with a lot of different generals, but one named Raisin Cain. I said, you're my kind of guy. If that's General Raisin Cain. We went in, we wiped them out, and we did it fast. We have I tell that story tonight because we have the greatest military in the world, but we have a lot of people that want to be politically correct, or they don't know what they're doing, or they're weak or they're stupid. But we have the greatest military in the world. And don't worry about the woke that you hear, because it's just, they do want it. I got rid of a lot of people that taught woke. They were making $400,000 a year, $500,000. They were getting paid a fortune. I fired them all. But when Biden came back, he hired them back. But the military is tough, and they're not going woke.
Yeah, they're not going woke. I said this earlier about whoever's in control of Congress in January 2025 will control and rewrite the tax codes that everyone is benefiting from you right now. Let's talk about taxes. Okay. Let's talk about people keeping more of their money and how important that is to achieve the American dream.
So I'm very proud to say that I got the biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, bigger than Ronald Reagan tax cuts, which were very big, but substantially bigger. And that's one of the things, I think, between that and the regulation cuts, where you didn't have to go through, years of study to find out that that's a piece of dirt and there's no problem, okay? I mean, it was the craziest thing. And we did regulation cuts larger than any other president has ever done, by double or triple. And I think that was actually more important. It was interesting. I was with a big businessman the other day. I said, what was better for you, the tax cuts or the regulation cuts? He said, it's not close, the regulation cuts. That's why we had the best job numbers that this country has ever had. We had the best job numbers that we ever had. And regulation cuts and tax cuts. So with the taxes, you could keep your money. You were spending less money. And the funny thing is, everyone said, oh, you cut them too much, you're not going to take in the revenues. We had, right after the tax cuts, we had the largest number of, in terms of revenue, we had the biggest revenues, the greatest revenues that the country's ever had, because people were incentivized. They were incentivized to go and work and everything else. Now, the Democrats want to raise your taxes by 4 times. And I don't know if people know it. It used to be that if you could cut taxes, you were a pretty good politician, you were going to get elected. We're living in a different time. They want to raise your taxes, and they think that's good politics. So they want to raise your taxes, they want to give you a lousy education, they want to give you very unsafe streets, all of these things, and they want to have open borders. Open borders. You can't have the open borders. So I think we're on a path to get tremendous numbers of votes. Yeah, and the enthusiasm, as you said, and as some of your people just said, there has never been, I don't think in any campaign, people say, I have veterans that have been with me for a while, but they've been in this business, in this world of politics for a long time. I have one that's been through many campaigns. He said, there's never been anything like what he's saying now. If we drive, we're now in Florida, if we drive 5 blocks, every house has a Trump sign in front of it. It's really a great honor, I have to tell you. It's a beautiful honor.
It's true. That's the reason why we're doing this preview show tonight, to encourage you guys tomorrow to get out and vote. We can talk about all the accomplishments of President Trump. We can talk about the policies. We can talk about how he's going to make America great again. But guess what? If you don't vote tomorrow, you don't encourage your friends, family, people at church, your neighbors, your coworkers to do it, it simply will not happen. You say this during your rallies, and I love the sign. It says, too big to rig.
Right. We want to be too big to rig. But the too big to rig, we're really thinking about November 5th. But it really does send a signal. If you can, get out to vote tomorrow. Get your husband, get your wife, get your friends, get their friends, because we want to send a signal that we're coming. This freight train's coming. And we have to do that, and we have to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow, they call it Super Tuesday for a reason. And I think it's going to be record-setting. I hope so. But that sends the signal, because what we're really doing is we're aiming at that November 5th date. And I said it at the beginning, and I'll say it now as we close up. It's going to be, I think, the most important date and day in the history of our country. We're going to take our country back, and if we don't win this next election, I think our country's finished. I really do. I think it's finished.
Yeah. So we got to act like we're down, because the Democrats want to actually drag this out. So you get out and vote, have the mindset that you are down by 70, you're not up by 70, and Republicans can stop by to turn out in big numbers, delivering big margins, so we can get this out to the rest of the company. Before you leave, I want to ask you about this Trump caucus captain hat you got here.
It's a good-looking cap, isn't it?
It is.
In fact, I wore one the other day. So this really comes out of Iowa, because they did an incredible job. We went there. It was 40 degrees below zero, by the way. 40 degrees. this was real cold. This was serious cold.
Right.
But the caucus captains were incredible. They got the people out. And we sort of do it with other places, even if it's not a caucus. It just works out well, right? Trump caucus captains. And what they've done was amazing in Iowa. And frankly, even though it wasn't a caucus, it was a primary. In New Hampshire, you look at, well, you spoke of Nikki Haley. We went to South Carolina, where she was the governor, and we beat her in record numbers. It wasn't even a contest. And that tells you something. When somebody's not really very popular in a place that they were governor, that they ran for a pretty long period of time, but we won record numbers. What we're doing as leaders and leadership, we give this hat, and it's been sort of lucky. So I said, whether it's a caucus or a primary, let's use it anyway. It looks really good.
I like that. All right, so as we wrap it up, the key takeaway here is get out and vote, and make sure you tell all your friends and family, because right now we have to do that. You can visit DonaldJTrump.com/Super Tuesday to find a location in your voting area. All of us here would like to say thank you for your time tonight. Pretty nice. Once again, that website, DonaldJTrump.com/super.
You're not going to see anything like that from the Democrats or the Biden administration or anything remotely close. You're just not. Pretty fantastic to see. So that was good. Shout out to Right Side Broadcasting. I know my microphone is probably a little off. We're well into an hour into this show now, so we're just gonna roll with it and see how it goes. First of all, I appreciate you guys being here. Oz says Trump 2024 with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let me see. Jay Schwalbach in the house says, just run a picture of Godzilla over shoulder and call this Japanese version of CobraCast. Yeah, I don't know if the microphone's still off. We've been rolling for, not like the sync is off. The actual quality should be fine, but the sync is probably off. At least it was. Dave Nunn says, Honorable Jeremy, say many words before lips. Quatrina VR, welcome to the Snake Pit. Mike Hill says, Nikki might have won the battle in D.C., but she won't win the war. I mean, she's not even close. Let me see. I'm still off. All right. The syncing is still off. My apologies. Eric K says, professionals do this. Do not try this at home. Tokyo Gaijin says, LOL, Nikki won Washington while she's taking her 600-plus vote win as a sign that she should stay in the race. And the left-wing media is eating it all up like catnip. Hail the 199, MAGA all day, every day. Jolly Roger says, Dementia Jeremy is the Joe Biden of streaming. All right, so apparently Mark Hamill is still having a day, apparently, but he's not having as good of a day as one Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann is a psychopath. All right? Keith Olbermann is truly, truly insane. There's just been a lot. There's been a lot today, okay? I don't even know how to keep up with all of it. First, you've got to hear this one. Did you guys hear what Jake Tapper had to say on CNN? Did you hear that one? All right. Look at this one. All right. Did you guys hear this? Here we go. Here we go.
Explanation was not they didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection. And I have to, explanation was not they didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection. And I have to, an insurrection. And I have to say, I got up at 5 this morning to do Casey Hunt's show, and I'm exhausted. So, explanation was not they didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection. And I have to, an insurrection.
Oh, one more time. He knew it too. He knew it.
Direction. And I have to say, I got up at 5 this morning to do Casey Hunt's show, and I'm exhausted. So, explanation was not they didn't like Donald Trump. They said he participated in an erection. And I have to, an insurrection.
Oh my goodness, dude. These people. So that's not like, you have no idea. Like, so today has just been wild, okay? Now this one I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to figure this one out, okay? So right here is Keith Olbermann having a massive, massive meltdown, all right? Calling for the Supreme Court to be dissolved, all right? And then you got this guy who responds, says, cry more, 9-0. Keith Olbermann responds and says, those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine. I'm sure you enjoy being bathed in it. What does that mean? What does this mean? I don't understand what this means. He said they're not tears. They're urine. I don't understand what he's trying to say. He's losing it. The Supreme Court. Like, he's just... And look at the amount. Okay, this... Now, let me refresh. All right, right now, this tweet has 33,000 comments. Are you kidding me? And he's just losing it. If the political whores on the court are overruling, like, he's calling them whores now. He's calling them whores on the Supreme Court. Jesus. This is so bad. Those aren't tears, fascist. They're urine. I don't understand what he's trying to say here. It's so weird. It's so weird. But that's not the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wait, there's more, okay? Not just from him, though. I mean, there's just, in general, there's just... Okay, this one's pretty good. Knock, knock. Who's there? Owen who? Owen 9. I know it's such a cheesy joke, but it's the screaming SJW and watching her facial responses. Oh, God, it's so good. It's so good. There was one right here. We find it. Is it this one? Yeah, so this guy right here, man, he's having a tough time. He's having a tough time right now.
We've learned that it was a 9-0 decision ruling that Donald Trump can be on the ballot in Colorado and other states.
I'm not confident that that will produce a result that's good for American democracy.
This is actually what I had been concerned about. I had been concerned that should it go to the Supreme Court, they would rule this way.
I'd laugh if it weren't so sad.
My next guest says Donald Trump is still an oath-breaking insurrectionist. Do you have confidence in the Supreme Court? Do you think this court is partisan?
The court itself may have overstepped.
The court went way further than it needed to go.
Our colleague Melissa Murray has called this Supreme Court the YOLO court.
The criticism of the court is that they're playing interference.
Not since Bush v. Gore have we seen a court that's had this many opportunities to interfere in the election.
The headline here is that this is a unanimous ruling, but if you scratch the surface just a little...
This is a 5-4 ruling on part of it.
This is actually a 5-4 decision.
It's 5-4.
Trump will take this, spin it, spread the misinformation, disinformation on it. So it's a win for them.
He's on the ballot and voters will vote, and he looks like he's headed to become the Republican nominee for president.
You can't save the people from themselves. If they're determined to reelect him after he organized that insurrection, then there's nothing to stop the people from doing that.
Oh, man. It is glorious to watch. It is glorious. There was another... Oh, this is, again, a meme. But let's see. Breaking... President Biden calls for Justice Ginsburg to retire after today's landmark 9-0 decision to keep former President Trump on state ballots. I could imagine like Biden like calling for that, like being frustrated. This one right here though, it's so good. Like
The court itself.
hang on. Yeah, like he is melting down. It's so funny to watch this guy. This was a parody account, but it's pretty funny. Right here, and a lot of people are walking into it, dude. A lot of people thought this was really Keith Olbermann, and then it says liberal women are fucking useless. Oh my gosh. So many people thought this was Keith Olbermann because he's so deranged that you can't tell when it's actually a parody or not. But yeah, people were like quote tweeting this, like, look at what this guy's saying. This should be like based Keith Olbermann or something like that. Based Keith Olbermann. Holy crap, though, man. Like, this whole thing has been wild, to say the least. Trying to see what else I had. Yeah, right here. Right here. Insurrection sympathizer Clarence Thomas ruled that insurrectionist Donald Trump can remain on the ballot in 2024. That should be the headline. Scott Pressler. The ruling was 9-0, and you attacked the black man. Figures. Boom. Perfectly said right there. Perfectly said. Dude, they are mad as hell at Clarence Thomas. 9-0 decision, and you're targeting the black guy. Pretty interesting how it works. Count Dankula's like, did Keith Olbermann just say that he cries piss? Yes, that's what he said. I don't understand what are you talking about right here? What does this mean? Olbermann, explain this to all of us so we understand, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Cry more, 9-0. Those aren't tears. Fascists, they're urine. What? There's the erection. Did you guys see this? I don't know how many people saw this story, but right here. So former Twitter executives who destroyed the platform are suing Elon Musk for $128 million in severance. So there is Parag and Vagina is what I call her, the former chief financial officer and the former general counsel. Let's see. So Elon should sue them for destroying Twitter. Yep. So they're trying to sue Elon now. And so I guess we'll see how that all plays out. But wild stuff. Wild stuff. I don't know how many of you saw this, but this is completely unrelated. But the reaction to this moment shows me that we live in such a pussified universe. So this was Darby Allin last night during Sting's final match. And he did something insane. And I've seen so many people crying about how he put himself in danger. And this is so dangerous. And we need to stop. And I'm like, dude, you didn't watch wrestling back in the day. You clearly didn't. Like, this right here is legendary shit. This is men doing what men do. Entertaining the fuck out of people. Watch what he does. Dude. And oh. I mean, just respect. Massive respect. Insane. But I've seen so many people crying about this. Look, this tweet right here. Darby could have sliced an artery. Darby would have missed his opponents regardless. The fans caught shards in the front row. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, Darby Allin is amazing. And people crying about, like, he could have got hurt. Well, then never leave the house again. Make sure you are triple fucking boosted and have your mask on and go sit in the fucking corner for the rest of your life. Of course, people can get injured doing things. That's why we respect them for what they're doing. That's why people respect Darby Allin for him putting his body on the line to entertain the people. And we need more of it. And you know what else we need more of? We need more of this guy right here. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. We need more of this guy. The tweet says, this might be controversial, but This might be controversial, but I truly feel this is a great message and deserves a fair shot. I support the black community 100%. And I completely believe we're all in this together. This isn't a joke. Let's do this together. Let's not have words tear us apart. Are you with me? The comments are fantastic. I don't know who this guy is, but I don't know if he's a troll or whatever. I don't care. I love this tweet. Why is my audio not in sync? It's been a problem since the stream started. We did a poll in the chat. 55% said keep rolling. So we just kind of kept rolling with it. So I do apologize that we're having audio issues tonight. But yeah, I did retweet it. I retweeted it. So you can go to my Twitter account right now. I retweeted it. But yeah, it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. And I tweeted this out 9-0 Trump 2024 with a tear in my eye. This is the greatest moment of my life. Hell yeah. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff indeed. Demonetized for sure, probably. What's up, Dean H in the house? Kevin says based shirt too. Absolutely. Very based shirt. Very, very based shirt. Good Lord, man. Shout out to Rumble. I see you guys. PJ says, this is what men do. Facts. That's why women exist. We keep you guys alive. You guys aren't much better than kids. You need someone to rein you in a bit. Absolutely. I mean, like, yeah, people crying about that. I just couldn't believe it. And this was like after I had tweeted this out. Like I tweeted this clip out because so last night was Sting's final match. I was like very invested in that because I've been watching Sting for a long time. And I posted this clip to Twitter, and I was actually surprised at how many people had never seen this clip right here. So many people had not seen this clip of Sting. Like, this is one of the craziest things I'd ever seen. Now, if you know anything about professional wrestling, you know that Owen Hart, the late, great Owen Hart, passed away because he fell from the ceiling when trying to do something similar to what Sting did all of those years. But this is crazy, and many people had never seen this. All right? Watch this shit. That's Diamond Dallas Page on the ground. Sting swoops in to save him. This is crazy. This is crazy. Look at that. Look at that. What? That's insane. Like putting yourself at risk to entertain the people. Look at this shit. This is amazing. Look at that. That is crazy, all right? And the fact that people are making a big deal of, like, Darby Allin doing that, and again, Darby Allin seriously could have hurt himself. So could have Sting. Sting, all those years dropping from the rafters, could have hurt himself. A lot of pussies out there in comment sections whining, going, "This is so dangerous. We don't need to do this." You clearly are like triple or quadruple vaxxed, boosted. You've probably got your 8th booster. Probably there's people still driving around with fucking masks on. I swear to God, dude. I really don't get it. Like, I just need people to understand. You can wear a mask if you want, okay? But if I see you out in public, if you're a grown-ass man or a able-bodied person, and you are driving around in a car with a fucking mask on, I have zero respect for you as a human being. Like, zero respect. None whatsoever. If I see you fully masked in a car and you're like 32 years old or whatever, you gotta be kidding me, dude. I have no respect for that at all. Zero. I mean, it's just wild. It is truly wild. Steiner Meth says Big Papa Pump has got great respect for Darby. Damn right, Big Papa Pump. Damn right. Yeah, Darby Allin's fantastic, though. He really is. And a lot of those guys are, man. I'm a huge fan. Like, I've been following wrestling a little bit more recently, and wrestling's getting to be pretty good. That AEW match was really awesome. Really awesome. Buster Nut Smash for 20 says, what are the odds Hillary coming in to be the Democratic nominee? The thing that worries me about that is that no one's talking about Hillary Clinton. And that's why I wonder if she could be a surprise. Nobody's talking about her. Everybody's talking about Gavin Newsom and Big Mike. Nobody's talking about Hillary Clinton. And that makes me very nervous. That makes me very, very nervous that she could swoop in there. So I don't know, but we'll see. I personally do not think there's a very high chance of that, but I just like to note that the fact that nobody's talking about her, interesting. Get Woke, Go Broke says, now they call those 3 leftist Supreme judges right wing. The white liberals are now being racist to Ketanji Brown Jackson. LOL. I know. You're only one opinion away from being a far right wing lunatic. Waylon Jennings says, hey, Jeremy, if Trump won in 2020, would more people be awake to all the corruption? No. So that's why I've said, like, the way that it's played out is ultimately better for the long-term future of America. Everything that happened in 2020 kind of needed to happen. We needed to kind of go through all of that so more and more people could realize what was going on. And so, yeah. So I absolutely... And you got to remember this. Trump was surrounded with horrible fucking people. And yes, you can say that was his fault, and that's fine. It doesn't change the fact that he was surrounded by horrible people. So another 4 years of Trump in 2020 to 2024, honestly, who's going to be the person to take over after that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know it. Honestly, it would have been DeSantis, probably. DeSantis would be gearing up for a 2024 run right now. If Donald Trump stayed in office in 2020, DeSantis would be the person that would be in position right now. Think about that. Glad we got that one exposed. Gollum's half-botched circumcision leftover. Let's see. Says, fuck, a scorpion just stung my hand while cleaning. Shit hurts. Guess it's time for a beer, LOL. Crypto is pumping, though. Well, man, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. Hope you're feeling better. Zevin Cross says, remember when The Undertaker chokeslammed Mankind off steel cage? That was an amazing moment. 1,000% Hell in the Cell. Mankind versus Undertaker. Threw him off the side on the table. Then he chokeslammed him through the through the top of the cage. A tooth went through his nose. It was insane, dude. It was insane back in the day. All right, we got, let's see, Pitland says, Jeremy, let me at that one. Jeremy, hope this helps you, sir. Thank you for fighting the good fight. God bless you, sir, and stay the course. Save America 2024. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of your support. It really means the world to me that anybody supports me, supports Geeks and Gamers, supports D-Day Cobra, and all the other stuff we have going on. We do have Mario Kart tonight on Geeks and Gamers Play. I'll be rating that channel when this stream ends. But yeah, I really do. Thank you guys. You guys, like, we really are. We have become 100%, almost 100% fan funded. You know, whether it be through YouTube or through Rumble or through Kick or, you know, eventually through the website again when we get that fired back up. But, you know, I don't make a ton of videos anymore. I do make them occasionally, but we are fan funded pretty much. And as I said, this was a couple of weeks ago, I turned down a pretty big sponsorship from a pretty massive sponsor because there was no way I could, I'm not going to, there's going to be some sponsors I'm not familiar with, and that's fine. This is a particular sponsor I could not in good conscience just be like, hey guys, check out this obvious piece of shit company that all these other big YouTubers are, you know, using as a sponsor right now. I just couldn't do it. Could not do it. Let me see. Gollum's half-botched circumcision leftover says, hit like mofos. Thank you so much. Kelly R says, I'd be very happy with Doug Burgum as VP. He's smart and MAGA. I feel like there's going to be somebody that's going to turn the needle a little more. But yes, you are correct on that. Catastrophe says, yo, check your DMs. Got some retro freebies for you. All right, shout out. I will check that out. Jared Armstrong says, Jeremy, isn't it funny that a guy named DeSantis was planted by Biden to go inside Fannie Willis's office? Jay Schwalbach says, Jeremy, I know you talked to Trump. Day one executive orders, free medical care for all persons with TDS. If you're mentally ill, I will help you at no charge. He needs to say this at every rally. That's Schwalbach over on Rumble. Thank you, Schwalbach. PJ says, Jeremy listens to the chat except for me. I asked for eye candy for the ladies since you men always get your boobs, LOL. I ain't putting no dudes with shirts off over on here, and I don't play that game around here. We are very, very, we believe, okay? I know a lot of people, you know, there's like a lot of accusations about me and like, oh, Jeremy's all about, you know, like he gets mad when there's like women in media and women in his movies and all of that. And I am here to set the record straight, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, I, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, D-Day Cobra, okay? I only want representation, okay? Hang on, I'm trying to pull it up now. All right, so we believe in representation here, all right? We believe in representation here at CobraCast, and I think that women are awesome, and I think we should have nothing but women representation on this channel. So here we go, all right? Just a little women representation, okay? That's all. I don't think we should have any men like this on the channel, but I think we should have women on this channel, okay? I think this is very educational. I think this is very motivating. I think this will help everyone through a tough, tough day. And I think that we need more female representation. I bet no one was worried about the sync problems on my microphone. Suddenly, were you now? Were you now? Thank you, PJ. I appreciate you. Where are we at? Where did it go? There we go. All right. We have Mod Eric says, low res Jeremy is always a win for everyone watching. Vol95 says, Jeremy, the border issue is simple. It's called colonization. The left constantly says, no border, no wall, no more USA at all. It's colonization. Breyer says, God bless you, Jeremy Griggs. $25. Thank you. If that's what it takes, I'll grift out Sydney Sweeney all day long on this channel, okay? For $100 super chat, Sydney Sweeney, we'll just, I'll put that in the Streamlabs where like she'll pop up every time, all right? Dawn 5481, have to go. Vote Trump tomorrow. Fuck Joe Biden. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And of course, I agree. And we'll be live here on this channel talking about just that. Super Tuesday is tomorrow. It's going to be a huge, huge day. It's going to be huge for President Trump. It's going to be huge for the country. Disco Cobra says, I've been chilling in the 24-hour Camelot stream. He has a bunch of people on, LOL. I'm chipping away at the content creation. I've been seeing videos with guys just talking over Minecraft gameplay. Like the old days of YouTube. Does consistency work the algorithm? I do think that there's... So I've actually thought about trying some of that stuff with my gaming channel and just doing. I have thought about doing audio only videos for some of my channels, and I've got to get back to making regular videos for Geeks and Gamers. I've fallen off on that a lot, and obviously I have my D-Day Cobra 199 channel. We have a lot of channels at Geeks and Gamers, and I'm trying to kind of consolidate certain aspects of it down, but it's tough. It's always tough, but. Yes, consistency is the key, especially in the early phases of building your YouTube channel, consistency is the absolute key. You got to be consistent, and you've got to find like a couple of topics that work for you. Talking over Minecraft gameplay or Call of Duty gameplay or Fortnite gameplay or whatever game you're interested in, I don't think that's inherently a bad idea. I don't. I think that's actually that's something that a lot of people back in the day did. But yeah, absolutely. I think that's something that could be something you could dabble in and see if it worked for you. So, but consistency is the key for sure. And then what you could do is like if you played like Minecraft gameplay and you did a video on whatever, Hollywood or some bullshit or whatever, you could, as you get an audience, you can get feedback from that audience and go, hey guys, in the future, what game would you like to see me have gameplay as, I'm talking about the topic, and then they'll drop some suggestions for you, and you can get some feedback that way. Raptor says, recharging my social batteries is tough. D-Day Cobra 199. It's really difficult. It's really difficult, guys, and I really appreciate you being sympathetic to me, that I am a streamer. And it's one of the hardest jobs that I've ever had. And I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to be able to survive moving forward, considering that streaming is the hardest job I've ever had. Here's a clown right here who, so this is a professional Fortnite gamer. And this was what he had to say right here.
This is the realest thing that I'm about to say. Hard work is hard work. If you are hard work, if you are working your ass off streaming compared to a person working a 9 to 5, not giving a single fuck and just getting it done, okay, streaming is harder. But if you are working your ass off in a 9 to 5 job and you have a streamer who's just streaming, not talking to chat and fucking boring, that 9 to 5 is harder than being a streamer. It's just like hard work is hard work at the end of the day. It doesn't mean like construction is fucking hard fucking work if you are working your ass off. Streaming is hard work if you are actually working hard. You get what I'm saying? That's the biggest reality of like every single thing. That's you're playing video games for a living? Yeah, and you're a fucking IRO NPC walking and doing nothing with their life, dude. Like, shut the fuck up, bud.
Would you please play duos?
Like, y'all see him play video games for a living. Okay, so why y'all motherfuckers not pro? Like, why you guys not pro? Why? Why are you guys not winning tournaments? Why do you guys not have $700,000 earned? If it's so fucking easy, dude. Like, damn. Y'all piss me off so much, bro.
Off job.
It ain't fun. Okay. So why y'all acting like being a professional gamer is easy? Like, dude.
No one said being a professional gamer is easy, you fucking retard. Streaming video games is easy. Being a professional in your field, there is something to be respected about being a professional. If you are a professional video game player, that's legit. Like, you've got to grind that shit out, and you've got to, if you're competing against the best other players and you're trying to compete for big money and competitions and traveling, that's legit. Streaming a fucking video game is not hard. Period.
Being a professional gamer is hard work, but a normal job is hard work also. Everything is hard work. If you are a disciplined motherfucker that works hard, we are the same. If you work hard and I work hard, we both work hard. And that's the reality.
Can we please play duos together?
Oh my God. All right, I apologize. I'll bring back Sydney. There you go. Sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. Sorry. Just want to, maybe I can grift off Sydney Sweeney some more. But, oh my God, dude. These kids, man. These kids that have never had a real job. And they just think that they have a real, like, tough life. You play fucking Fortnite, bro. You play Fortnite, and that dude makes more money in a month playing fucking Fortnite than I've made in years. No bullshit. Like, he makes like $100,000 a fucking month or something like that, I think. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And again, there's nothing wrong with like having an easy job. You are blessed. It's okay to have an easy job. I have an easy job in terms of streaming. Now, do you want to get into the business side of everything I do and all the behind the scenes shit? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a shit. My job is primarily streaming. All the other stuff, Nobody gives a shit. I'm not going to come here and whine and go, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to pay taxes, I have to pay payroll, I have to do... Just fuck off with that. I'm streaming right now, and it is easy as hell. Because why? Because I love what I do. I love what I do. I'm not putting on a show. I'm not putting on a front. I'm talking about things I'm interested in. I'm talking about things that I have some knowledge on. It's not like I'm talking about... I don't know. It's not like I have a fucking makeup channel here. All right. Then I would have to actually like force myself to do research on shit I know nothing about, which really good paying gig on YouTube, by the way. These makeup weirdos are fucking making all types of money, but that's another discussion for another time. I'm talking about shit I'm interested in. Therefore, it's not really that hard to sit here and talk to people and answer questions and give my opinion. And if I don't know the answer, I just say I don't know the answer. Now, a lot of these guys are performative. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys are like, oh, you know, pretending that they care about this shit and all of that, which was a point that Young Ripa made when he talked about Hassan and how those guys are like, they're putting on a front. Therefore, it's difficult for them, which I do kind of understand that. I do understand that would make it difficult for them, but that means you're just a phony. Raider for $51.99 and Brer for another $25 says, God bless you, Jeremy Griggs. Man, Sydney Sweeney's making me some money. Kremlin says, wow, 5 months went quick. Absolutely. I see Hawk says, where are my blacks? Let's see, Jack O'Hooligan. Some guy on Twitter told Olbermann to cry more, and Olbermann replied, those aren't tears, it's urine. I know, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Robert Bro says, I just gave birth to Jeremy's butt baby. Let's see. Archer Blade says, I can't wait for the day that you will meet Mark Hamill. Please record his reaction in full. If it ever happens, I will certainly do that. So for those that don't know, if I ever get a chance to meet Mark Hamill, I will go up to him and I will say, Mark, I appreciate you as Luke Skywalker. You were a hero of mine. Appreciate everything you've done for Star Wars. And I've been watching Star Wars since, I was a young child, and I've loved, Return of the Jedi. And I just want you to know, as a grown man, I can stand here today and let you know that I respect Donald Trump more than I ever respected you. MAGA 2024. Thank you, Mark. Would you like to take a picture with me? That's what my plan is if I ever meet him. Just tell him how much I appreciate him and how much he was a hero to me and how I've grown up loving Star Wars. And I'll say, and here I am as a grown man today, and I just want you to know that I respect Donald Trump more than I've ever respected you. And MAGA 2024. Would you like to take a picture with me, Mark? I just want to do that so bad. I want to do it so bad. Audio Melon says, MAGA, make amazing games again. I like it. Let's see. Turnt for 20 says, let's see, what's the difference between a gynecologist and a gynecologist? Is that it? How do I say that? A genealogist looks up at the family tree. A gynecologist looks at the family bush. Good Lord. That's a lot of like genealogist, gynecologist. I'm surprised I said anything right through that whole thing. But thank you for the 20. I appreciate that. Let's see. Chad Layton says, here's a 5 for the grift. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Linko Kenobi says, what's up, Jeremy? If I keep this up by getting subscribers and start making money, I would definitely quit my job and have a relaxing job at home. LOL. Hell the 199. Trump 2024. Hey, seriously, man, I'm telling you, I've had real jobs. Okay, I've had many real jobs. Streaming is not a real job if you're doing it because you love it. If you're performative, if you're forcing it, if you have to spend all day pretending that you are interested in the thing that you have to talk about, then I guess at that point it is a real job. But for people that are genuine and are just doing it because they love it and they want to talk about these things, there's no work involved. There's none. I mean, except for me having to unmute the microphone occasionally, I guess. Phantasm Knox says France has on the day voting because their government is secured for the progressive side and they got the voting power from the progressives and immigrants. Coalesce says, yes, the Supreme Court is now interfering with the election. Not the other guy with amnesia and drugged out kid. Old Renaissance Nerd says, has Tapper been taking English lessons from X-Ray Girl? Hail the 199 Trump 2024 meme in your mailbox, by the way. Thank you. Cole Hauser says, I got the same shirt. Nobody shared mine. Let's see. I got the same shirt. Nobody shared mine. Well, I'm sorry. You know what? To pay you back for not having anyone stare at your shirt and your chest, I will show this for everyone. Okay? Cole Hauser? Does that make it better? This freaking video is all over the place, man. Like, I think Sydney Sweeney's attractive, obviously, because I'm not gay. You know, she's definitely attractive, okay? But holy crap, the internet has gone crazy over that, man. Like, crazy over it. She is hot. She is hot, okay? But my goodness, the internet, and again, do you know what we have found out through all of this? We know what a woman is. We know what a woman is. Everybody knows what a woman is. And when you put hot women in front of a camera, people will watch. Because it's always nice to have hot women in front of a camera. Not a complicated process here, Hollywood. Not a complicated process. We know what a woman is. All right, I've got to get it off. I've got to get this off of my screen because I can't focus on anything. I kept looking. All right, Dante Rage says Sting was a better crow than Brandon Lee. Sting's crow gimmick was amazing. I definitely put like Sting is one of the greatest of all time for sure. Steiner Math says Sting was running away from the big bad booty daddy. DDP's wife Kimberly still owes me a treat between the sheets. Dude, Kimberly Page. Back in the day, Kimberly Page was okay. So, Aurora Uplink says it's okay if we drive wearing stormtrooper armor. Is it okay if we drive wearing stormtrooper armor? As long as you can see, yes. There's space, and then there's a word that starts with an N. Hail, Jeremy, scanning in, passed my CDL exam, and Trump is going to win. And we all know it. Thank you, and I'm happy. I'm happy that you passed your CDL test. I'll just share this, all right? I'll just share this to kind of like, you know, that's kind of the name, you know, a little bit. So, shit is so stupid, dude. It's so dumb. Paul Stella says, did you see Dune 2? Yes, I've seen Dune 2 once. I really enjoyed it. I like Dune 1 more. I want to see it again, though. I want to see Dune Part 2 again, but I really did enjoy it. It's a very good movie, but I did like Part 1 more. I've actually started watching the miniseries on YouTube. It's on YouTube, so I've never seen that before, but I did enjoy it. And it is a cinematic experience. It really is. It's pretty amazing. Celluloid Dream says, sup, Jeremy. What's up, Celluloid Dream in the house? And Celluloid Dream says, you're gay. Thank you, Celluloid Dream. Dean H says, my state's primaries in 2 weeks, but I already cast my early vote for 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Thank you, Dean H. Phantasm Not says, streamers like him and Hassan are weak as PP. I agree. Aaron Jones says, congrats. My N-word for passing your CDL exam. Steiner Mass says, Sydney Sweeney Motor Boatables, shout out. Tokyo Gaijin says, Olbermann's tweets make sense. They're not tears, they're urine. The whole drinking liberal tears thing, he's telling us to drink his piss. Sick. I guess that's what he's saying. It still didn't. It didn't come off that way. But I see where you're going with that. So the Dream says, for all the new people, if you really want to support Jeremy, you simply send a super chat saying "Show Breet." Jeremy will truly appreciate it. God damn it, Cellular Dream. Don't start that. Disco Cobra for 50. I'm going to reach my 500 limit because I dropped 2 red boys and 2 pink boys on this stream. LOL. Would you think just being myself would be the best, or do like a personal like some do? A persona like some do. Streamers like, is it Kaso, Jinxie, and Sketch are blowing up. I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, it really, it's without me knowing you or knowing what your on-screen personality is, I wouldn't know. I mean, like, for instance, like, I think you guys would agree with me that I think, like, Krista Nova, for instance. Krista Nova, I think she has a ton of potential to be a big-time YouTuber if she ever wanted to actually make content and all of that and streaming. I think she's fantastic. She's not really interested in doing that. Like a couple times she did like the article style stuff like I do. She's into like, she's got this whole VTubing thing that she's, you know, doing, and you know, she's still herself behind the thing, but she's just more comfortable with that, and I think she's going to start trying to do more of that. But you know, and then there's people like I see a lot of these VTubers, and I don't know. I've heard that like some of them were creators and then they became VTubers or whatever. You've got people that started out doing one thing and then they kind of evolved into doing something else. Ryan Kendall's a classic example of somebody that like when he started out, you could tell he was just trying to get familiar with the camera and his on-screen persona, and now Ryan just makes videos like nothing, you know what I mean? Like whatever, you know, he just sits there and records for like 10 minutes and bitches about, you know, anything. And then he's done, you know, no jump cuts or anything like that. Josiah is another classic example. Josiah Rises. Josiah used to make videos a different way back in the day for Geeks and Gamers. And then after the channel kind of took off, he started to kind of look at how I was making videos, and he kind of reapplied his self and kind of became more comfortable with who he was and fully embraced who he was and got that more aggressive style. So it really is like what I would say is in the beginning of being a YouTuber, don't expect success early on. You need to get comfortable with who you are and what type of content you want to make, and it will evolve. It will slowly evolve over time. So just give it some time. Make 10 videos and then watch those 10 videos back and try to like, well, first of all, make a video, then make a second video, and then take those 2 videos and go, what did I do better in the second video than the first video? And then do that with the third video, and then just keep getting better and better and better. And then after 10 videos, and you look back at that, go, where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? And then you'll kind of evolve it from there. So I wish you all the luck in the world. Disco Cobra, I appreciate you, brother. Nick Brown says, no Breets, the 199 Accord of 2023 is still in effect. Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up, Nick. Lefty Raccoon says, hail the 199, hail the Iron Age, and to all my raccoon brothers and sisters out there, remember Raccoon Gate, Snake Pit, rise up. Snake Pit, rise up. Thank you. Sydney Sweeney's Motor Boating Academy, taking applications today. My N-word says, you missed my first super. That's okay. Worth it. Here's another 5, part of my CDL exam, or part of my CDL exams, terms. I don't know if you mean terms 2024 or Trump 2024, but I think I got it. I do have a few more because I'm going through the list right now. So let me see if I would have missed any. We've got Lefty Raccoon says, machinist here. If you work in AC, your job ain't that hard, and that kid doesn't have to worry about having laser focus to prevent one mistake from turning into a workplace fatality statistic. 1,000%. 1,000%. I heard like, what's his name? What the hell's this guy's name? The guy that did the reaction to Hassan, and I did a reaction to his reaction, Asmongold. And he was just like, oh, when you're on the internet, you have to worry about people responding to every move you make and word you say and everything, and you get memed, and it's like, are you really complaining about being memed on the internet? Uh-oh, did my camera just die? My camera just died. Hang on. But yeah, so he's sitting there crying about all this dumb shit, and I'm like, dude, if that's the hardest thing in your life is getting memed on the internet, then you don't have a hard life, okay? You have a very, very easy life if the most difficult thing in your day is getting memed on the fucking internet. My God, these people think that they're like, I don't know, man. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But MGBB says, hey, Jeremy, I think I am the only mid-50s Asian woman following you since the beginning. So happy for your channel's growth. Hail the 199 Trump 2024. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a wild ride. I mean, between this channel and then, of course, you've got the Geeks and Gamers channel and all of our other channels. It really has been a wild ride. So it's an honor that people have been watching me for any significant amount of time and that they keep coming back. I am really appreciative, really appreciative. East Coast Hosted Boy says, also, Marty should have stayed in his lane with the music. His pushing for Miranda and Johnson to die's S-fear bigotry. He can take a fat one. What are we talking about there? Let's see. I don't know that. I gotta look into that one. East Coast Toasted Boy. Vault 95 says, at least with Trump's second term, I won't have to watch any more unsolicited Nixon documentaries. Eric says, make mental institutions great again. Vault 95 says, Olbermann made the Shooter McGavin mistake. Shooter McGavin mistake. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Happy Gilmore. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? He also called lefty judges Keegan and Sotomayor whores. Yeah, he did. Nut job, dude. East Coast Toasted Boy says, Uber Cuck is trying to say he's not crying, he's pissing on us, but he's the one with the L, so I don't know how he thinks he's winning. Dude's a nut job. Eric says, Guidewall says, I was actually surprised with today's Supreme Court ruling being 9-0. I thought it would be 6-3 or a 5-4 decision. I know, it's wild. Ric Flair says, the girl in the red behind Trump will be riding Space Mountain tonight. Woo! Kyle, welcome to the Snake Pit. Thank you. Arudai says, hail, boss man. What a glorious day for MAGA. Trump 2024. Coop, I saw a couple of streamers say Nikki canceled her ads and appearances. If true, she's done tomorrow. We'll see. Hail the Lore says, Jeremy, you've been putting in work with this channel and all of Geeks and Gamers is appreciated. Been taking notes from you with my own community. Well, that's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Dude, you've been doing good. You've got, I think, you know what? Hail the Lore deserves a follow on Twitter. He's been grinding. So Hail the Lore's crushing it on Twitter. I think he hit over 1,000 followers. Shout out to you, brother. Go follow Hail the Lore on Twitter. Objectively, a cat says SCOTUS rules in favor of democracy. Let's see on Casimir Polinsky Day. Happy. Let's see what. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I'm walking into something there with you, Objectively a Cat. Project Eggroll says, good YouTube advice. We're comfortable being yellow for sure. God damn, y'all. Y'all are going to get me in trouble. Ian says, breach for Trump 2024. Hail chat. Y'all are the best on the internet, hands down. Feet down. Also, Jeremy's gay, except for when he shows Sydney's rack. Mo Zamboni says, listen to this man's advice. I started a political channel, Reluctant Rebel. It was scary as fuck at first, but it's so much fun. Just do it, people. Hail. What's up, Mo Zamboni? And yeah, thank you. I want to help anybody I can. Grow your channel, build your audience. You know, there's plenty of opportunity out there for everybody. The Souls Network says, wow, 8 months already. Thank you for the generous fellowship. This one was paid for by Holy Smokes, you, Jeremy. So big gulps, huh? Well, till next month. Look at there. Doug freaking B for $100. Holy crap, Doug B. R.I.P. to my birthday buddy and the G&G family member, Dawn Howell. Wait, hang on. R.I.P. to my birthday, buddy. And G&G. What? Hold on. Dawn? What happened, Doug? Are you serious? What happened? I thought you were saying something like I did not pick up on it at all. But so Dawn, how? Are you saying that Dawn passed away? Holy crap. Do we have any details? Oh my goodness. I don't want to say thank you for the $100 super chat, but Lord Botha says Dawn passed away. Yeah. Jay posted on X. Let's see. All right, let's see here. Let's go over to Twitter and see. Drunk 3PO. Let's see here. Okay, right here. Man. All right, here we go. My heart is broken. Someone that I came to know and love in this community. Dawn passed away. She was a beautiful angel that helped so many people. We talked almost every day. She will be truly missed. I have no words. Dude. Oh my gosh. That is awful. Oh my gosh. I had no idea. I had no idea. That is so terrible. She was awesome. And that's what's so great about all of these amazing people in the community is you get to meet so many amazing, awesome people. And I am so sorry to hear that. So we will, I'll look into this a little more and we will see if we can do anything to help out. But rest in peace to Dawn. Great person. And yeah, thank you guys in the chat. Everybody's throwing up prayer emojis. So thoughts and prayers to Dawn, family, and everything. So I will talk to Jay about this and get more information. Thank you, Doug, for letting me know. And man, that is so sad. So that is awful. Shout out to all the prayers in the chat. Really appreciate you guys. Man, I am really genuinely upset right now. That is so terrible to hear. Man, let's see. So we're gonna have we're gonna dedicate the rest of the night to Dawn, and I know Dawn would want us to just move forward and focus, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Must Play Review says you're right. You're right. Take it one vid at a time and try to improve. I have no family if I'm actually getting. Or I have no idea if I'm actually getting better. But up to 176 and 600 watch hours with no streams. That's actually good, especially with no streams. That's good. The numbers are like. People always say like. How do I judge if something's doing good? The analytics are the audience. Like that is the audience. That is the audience. The analytics are the audience, and they will tell you if you're doing a good job or not. Fantastic Mr. Knox says people like Olbermann don't know what democracy is. What they clearly want is the USSR of old. It's going to be a wild year. Absolutely. My N-word just became a member. Thank you. East Coast Toast Boy says, Halo 3, Marty pushed hard for the dramatic death gimmick as if death is the only way to make a story good. F Marty for that. East Coast Toast Boy says, the average guy will feed their ducks to Sydney Sweeney's tits, but not as because they're not trans ones. Sorry, as. I couldn't pass up that joke. Hashtag never forget. PJ says, you win. Damn patriarchy. So glad God created men. East Coast says, can't blame SNL for being desperate, but they did it to themselves. That is true. Contemporary Compendium says, shout out to the Botchamania Again channel showcasing all of the best, funniest wrestling botches and mishaps. Great channel. East Coast Toasted Boy says, I didn't think about that. If there's one thing that'll get the media to spill the beans about the COVID and vax, it'll be that. 1,000%. East Coast Toast Boy says, the people wanting Trump to admit he was wrong about COVID and the jab wanted it for accountability, which is a leadership trait. I did too, but you do have a point with the mainstream media using it against him. 1,000%. Mod Eric says, when people asked Jeremy if he got the poke, he said yes. He thought it meant on the gay cruise. Let's see where we are. Are we caught up, Jed? Are we caught up?
Yes, we are.
We are caught up. Okay. Yeah, that news about Dawn is awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. So like I said, I will talk to Jay and we will see what's going on there. But with that said, we are going to be calling it a night, and I am going to be joining the Geeks and Gamers team over on Geeks and Gamers Play. And we're going to be playing some Mario Kart. Tomorrow, we are going to be live for Super Tuesday. I don't know what time yet, but we will be live covering Super Tuesday here. Main event is still happening. I'll get that covered with the team, but I'll be live over here on this channel, and yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on times and dates and everything like that. So, but with that said, I really appreciate it. And again, rest in peace to Dawn. Terrible news that we got about Dawn. But you know, with that said, we're gonna call it a night. I don't even want to do like sexy back end and all of that. I don't even want to do like, I'll do the Sabaton because I know, like, you know, Dawn would support us continuing on, but just celebrating the money and all that, like, who cares? $725 in chat revenue. Thank you guys. I think we have 27 new members. 37 new members. So thank you. $1,500 in likes. Thank you. I appreciate it. But with that said, I'll give you guys some Sabaton, and then I will be going over to the Geeks and Gamers Play channel. This will raid that, and I'll be joining them for Mario Kart. Rest in peace to Dawn. Thoughts and prayers to her and the fam, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.